Hey all, we'll see how to configure cluster in WebSphere in this class. Cluster is used for high availability and load balancing. Load balancing is like suppose application gets 10 requests and in the cluster you'll have a group of application servers. We can call them group of profiles or group of nodes. So say in the cluster you have around two cluster members. I mean cluster members is nothing but the nodes. So suppose you have two cluster members, and for that application if you get 10 requests, each cluster member will go 5 requests, and so the load will be balanced. So that is called load balance. So in short, the requests will get divided equally with the cluster members. Well, again, you can go in depth, that comes under different subject about load balancing. Well, so the one uses load balancing and the other uses high availability. High availability is nothing but, say suppose you have two cluster members, four cluster members, whatever. If one cluster member doesn't work, application doesn't go down because there are some other cluster members which would be working, so the request goes to them. So there is a bit load balancer subject in this that comes under different subject based on your company environment. So in short, if any cluster member doesn't work, or if any cluster member service stops, or if any cluster hangs, you need to suspend the correspondence service in load balancer. So once you suspend that service, the application will be up continuously and the other working cluster members will serve the requests. And let us see how to configure cluster. As I said in previous session, the latest 8.5 or 8.5.5 trial version is not supporting cluster configuration, so I'm showing cluster configuration in older version. So let us see. So we can configure clusters in deployment manager. So let us navigate admin console of deployment manager. So the admin console port of this deployment manager is 9060. So let me navigate the admin console. So this is a syntax. You need to keep the host where deployment manager is configured, and this is admin console port 9060 and /admin, that is a syntax. So this is a whole syntax to access admin console. I don't have credentials, so security is not enabled, so I'm not using credentials to log in. I have several nodes federated to this deployment manager. So I have already clusters in this. So right now these three nodes 5, 6 and 7, and beyond 205, beyond 206 and beyond 207, these are not assigned to any cluster. I want to create cluster using these three nodes. So before that I want to stop these servers and create the cluster. So let me stop them. So we can stop servers using admin console and using command mode. So let me stop one server using admin console. And so this is 207, and let us stop 205 and 6 using terminal. I'm already in the path. So this is the path where profile is configured, and I'm going to the bin of that profile. It's nothing but profile and then bin. So I'm going to the path, and then I'm using the command. So I'm stopping them. I'm already in the path. Okay. Okay. In this terminal, I'm already in the path for 6 profile. So I'm stopping the server. Okay. So 7, I have stopped using management console, and 5 also I have stopped already. 6, it is, let us see the status. 6 is stopped as well. Server 1 stop completed. So let us check the status by refreshing it. Yes, all these 3 servers are stopped. And yeah, well, the corresponding node agents are up. I'll show you again later on how to start and stop node agents. Node agents, we need to stop and start node agents only using terminal. We cannot start and stop using admin console for node agents. So you need to start and stop node agents through terminal itself. Okay, so let us start creating clusters. So this is the path. You should navigate to servers and then clusters. Create a new. You can give your any name you want. Cluster 2. Okay, and then next. Okay, here the member should be unique. There are already servers with server 1 with name server 1. So I am creating name with server 2, and here the first, so this is the first, this would be the first cluster member, and I'm choosing this option second. Create the member using an existing application server as template. Okay. And here I have to select the node. So I want to create using this 205, 6 and 7, beyond 205, 206, 207. So I'm selecting beyond 205. Okay, and if I show the steps, you can take a screenshot of this page. So here the first step, I'm giving the cluster name, and then select the existing template from the federated nodes. So I have selected that. Create a member using an application server, existing application server as a template. Create the member using an existing application server as a template. Yeah, I'm highlighting it. So this is the second step. Yep, I gave the server name, and I have selected the node, and I'm creating by using an existing application server as template. Next. Okay. So now only one member is added. So see here, only one node is there. Cluster is nothing but group of nodes. So let me add one more node. Let me create the name. So in that node, server 1 is already created. So I'm creating server node as a cluster member We have added already beyond 205, so let us add beyond 206. Server 2 beyond 206, add member. Yes. So I'm making, as of now, I'm making cluster with 2 nodes. So let me go ahead. So this is the summary. So these are the details of node 5 and node 6 and the cluster name. I'm clicking finish. Let me save the configuration. Yeah, so there is already existing cluster 1. Right now we have created cluster 2. The status is showing red because the cluster members are still not started. So let us start them. Status will become green. So here you should go to cluster member. So these are the 2 servers which have federated, have configured clusters. I mean, these are the 2 servers with which we have configured cluster. We can start the servers using management console and terminal. So let us start beyond 205 using management console. Okay, let us see the node agent status. Let us stop and start our deployment manager and start the servers. If we restart deployment manager, the changes will take place completely, and then we can start the cluster members. I'm already in the path of deployment manager, and from that bin I'm stopping the deployment manager. So once we restart them, the changes would take place and we can restart the cluster members. So now we have restarted deployment manager so that the cluster changes would take completely. So now let us log into management console and restart the servers. So again, we can stop and start cluster members using management console and terminal. So this is the cluster we have configured. So we can navigate like this to cluster members. So these are down now. You can select that and click on start. In other words, you can manage cluster members using admin console and using terminal with command mode. Yeah, so it is started successfully. Now let us start other cluster member using terminal. So beyond 206. So this it is its profile name is application srv06. I'm in the profile path and bin start server 2. Server 2 is a server name. And I'm sorry for the background sounds. That is the nature. You can refer my previous classes to check about commands to start and stop cluster members and deployment manager for the latest version as well. To start and stop servers for application profile it's same, but for deployment manager it would be little bit different. You can check my previous sessions to start deployment manager in latest versions. So the second cluster member is also started. So whenever you start cluster member, you'll get a message like this with the process ID. So server 2 is open for e-business and the process ID is 2520. So you can check the status here as well. So they are up now. So like this you can manage cluster members and so as I said earlier in previous sessions, the cluster in order to maintain the cluster members status as healthy or green or active, the corresponding node agents should be up as well. So the corresponding node agents are up. You can check only status here in from console about node agents. So to start and stop you need to use terminal for the node agents. So you can start and stop node agents only using terminal. So let us do that. So let us stop our node agent. Stop node. I'm stopping a node for beyond 205. So this beyond 205 profile name is app srv05. So I'm stopping that. So it is stopped. You can check the server node agent stop completed. You can check the status here. So see now it's reflecting stop. Okay. So node agents you need to start and stop only using terminals, and application servers you can restart using management console and using terminal. And so yeah, let us navigate to clusters. So yeah, since both the cluster members, it's partially up, this is partially green because I have just stopped one node agent. So since I have stopped one node agent, the corresponding server would be down as well. Yeah, it is down. So like this, you can maintain clusters. And as I want to repeat, so clusters are useful for high availability and load balancing. So whenever you want to deploy applications, you can deploy in this cluster. So suppose the application gets 10 requests or 15 requests, those requests will get divided and it would be load balanced. And the high availability means, say suppose this beyond 205 is not working. So as of now, yeah, beyond 205 is not working, but application would stay healthy because once this server goes down, based on your environment, you need to suspend that service in load balancer. Again, every company will have different load balancers, so based on your company environment, you can suspend in load balancer so that the application stay healthy. So once the server comes up, you can activate from the load balancer so that the request goes to both the cluster members. And from here, and if you want to increase the cluster members, you can just click on from here, you can just click on new and you can add server 2. So I want to select node 207 because we did not add it. Add member, yeah, it is added. It's giving the configuration details, finish. So like this you can increase the cluster members as well, but in the real time you would be having all change management process. Let me save it. So change management, you will have change control board and you will have change management policies. Based on that, you have to do in development and then quality and then production. You can just go through the existing company process and policies and do the changes in the production. So well, this server we have just added now, beyond 207. Again we can restart deployment manager and bring this bring this server up. So this is all about clusters and cluster member configuration and maintenance. You can just take a screenshot of this page so that becomes easy while doing practice. If you have any questions and doubts, you can load them in the comments. I'll reply to them. I'm done with the class now. And if you want to learn WebSphere application server administration course, you can please subscribe to this channel so that you will get more videos in your future. Thanks for watching this video. Bye bye.